Welcome back. You are listening to Whissel Wednesdays here on AM 1170. The Answer. My name is Kyle Whissel, your host with Whissel Realty, joined as always by Mr. Jason Hall from English.
From
English. Yes.
Hispanic.
You're from English.
Spanish speaking division.
Speaking the American.
You're from American.
I am from America.
Speaking the American.
We've also got Mr. Martin Lopez from Hispanic. Beautiful. And you know bilingual, so it's good to have you here, Martin.
Welcome back,
Fluently.
Mr. Whissel.
Fluently in the bilingual.
Did you miss me, Jason?
I missed you, man.
You miss getting teased all the
For
time?
those that are missed this, they're like, why is Kyle saying all this? Because this
Listen to the first segment of the show.
you can listen to the first segment, whistlewednesdays.com. You can just listen to Mr. Hall and all my blunder, since I am not the professional speaker that Kyle Whissel is. And he spoke at the Sales Mastery that Craig Sewing put on last week. And he had the line of the entire conference that went viral. So it literally went tweeted out, pound, or I say pound, what is it?
Yeah,
hashtag,
yeah.
right?
Pounded.
I say
They pounded.
I say pound, but it's called hashtag. So again, that's being a little older than the rest of you here in the studio.
Did you look that up in the Google?
Okay. When I was a kid,
Poor
we never
Jason.
called that hashtag. We said you hit the pound button.
Pound key.
No,
The pound
you
key.
didn't, Jason, let's be honest. You didn't hit the pound button back in your day.
Oh, yes,
you
we
put
did.
your finger in it.
The
and
rotary
slid it over.
dial.
I
That's
remember
right.
getting the first one you could hit the pound, and I was excited because you're right. It used to be. And again, I know it's kind of different as we're on radio. Not everybody can understand that, but those north of 45 understand that circle one. The rest of you guys look at me like, what's
What
that?
are you talking about, man?
But Kyle, you did a great job on the Craig Sewing thing.
It was fun. And my big thing is when you get an opportunity like that, you get in front of a couple thousand people, you got to be memorable. A lot of people get the opportunity, they get on stage, they say what they're supposed to say, they're just kind of there and they blend in. You got an opportunity, you got a floor and a platform, to get yourself out there. You want to take advantage of it. So we can say the edited version on the radio, but essentially we have a big problem in our industry in real estate, and that's that people are scared to talk on the phone anymore. Everybody's so reliant on texting, so reliant on email. A lot of people aren't really doing their job and servicing their clients the way that they should. So my quote at the event was, quit being a baby
The B
and
word.
pick up the phone.
Yes.
If you don't call your clients, we will.
Right.
Because there's so many people that are just scared to call
And
their
Craig
damn
Sewing
clients.
literally said in one line, what advice would you give these real estate agents? There's 2,000 agents out in the audience, Kyle. One line, what would you do? And that's exactly what he
That's
said.
so great.
And he was the very first one. Everybody was like, oh, I mean, nobody else could even answer after that because it was such a great line. So congratulations.
And
Also,
it's
in
very
studio.
true.
It's so true. I mean, everybody today is just scared of the phone. They're so dependent on, I guess they're not scared of the phone because they hold it in their hand all day. They just never put it up to their freaking ear because they're scared to actually have a human conversation with people. I mean, it blows me away how many times we get an offer on a property. I mean, $1 million+ property, and somebody just emails an offer over. They never even call once and ask
the
any
question
questions.
is, are those people true salespeople? Because a true salesperson is going to pick up the phone
And sell themselves.
and
sell their client. And sell
right?
the
Like
offer.
I was watching Millionaire Listing New York. We were watching on DVR last
job.
night, my wife and I.
Another one. Good one.
Did I mess that one up?
Oh, yeah.
What is it?
But
What is
it's
it?
cool. It's $1 million listing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you knew exactly what I was
cool.
talking about, though.
Right.
Right.
Cool.
So that's the key. Right. And who's the
What
young
language
Puerto
were they
Rican
speaking?
kid? Who's the young Puerto Rican kid?
Luis Ortiz.
Okay. This guy literally picked up the phone and hammered the top guy in all of New York developing like 100 calls. And the guy finally called him back. And he said, the reason you're
Oh, I
getting
saw
this
that
$13 million deal is you're persistent. He goes, I've never seen anybody so persistent. And so a true salesperson is going to be persistent. So I think what happens is you get a lot of real estate agents that aren't truly salespeople. They just don't want to, work at their old job. And they're okay at real estate because you can be okay and make, 50 to 80 grand as a real estate agent?
Well, you sell to your mother
Right,
and your
Kyle?
cousins.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, everybody sells. They sell their mom a house and their brother a house
Well, at least
and then
for
their
a year or
uncle a
two,
house.
yeah.
Right.
Right.
And they make it for a year or two. Yeah, that's kind of the normal MO.
And then they become your assistant at the Whissel team.
Right.
Well, no, that's the culture, not in Whissel. That's not the culture in Whissel. I find that the culture in Whissel is everybody supports each other to make those calls, and we bring that up. And I think that's why the thing you said at the event last week was so real, and people feel that because that is how the Whissel team culture is. That's how it is in whether you're at Team Home Loans or you're at iServe. It's the culture that we live in. It's the culture that we preach, and it's the culture that we constantly develop at Whissel.
Definitely. And, the biggest thing is when you're writing an offer on a property, every seller has their own unique scenario. That seller might want a short escrow. They might want a long escrow. They might need some time after it closes.
So that's
to
why
rent
you would.
it back.
That's why, as the buyer's agent, you should
to make the
call.
call.
You gotta
and
know
not
that.
Just
You gotta know that.
blindly submit an offer, because we're in that season right now. Late spring, early summer. Technically, it's unofficially summer because we just passed Memorial Day. We're in the busiest time of year in real estate, and most properties are getting 5, 10, 15 offers right now if they're priced right. And if you're one of those, if there's 10 offers and only one person calls me
You're probably
and
worth the
actually
one.
ask the questions,
Yeah.
they're probably going to write the most attractive offer because they actually asked me, hey, Kyle, what's important to you in the offer that we write? And I'm going to give them advice. And if they follow that advice, I'm going to let the seller know, hey, this guy called me in advance. They asked what's important. I told them what's important to you guys. And this is what they put together. I haven't heard from the other 9 people.
Right.
That's going to go a long way with the seller.
Great advice. If you're a real estate agent or thinking about being a real estate agent, that's some of the best advice you can book that, keep that. Great advice, Kyle. Thanks for sharing that. But we've got now up. Let me give her a little drum roll here. What do we got in studio?
Go ahead, Jason.
No, I'm letting you.
I want to hear you butcher it. I want you to butcher it.
No,
Come on.
Gypsy has a
Here's the
crazy
cleaver.
last
Go
name.
for it.
I'm not. I've already butchered Mr. Hall enough today.
I love it. So with TriStar Property Management, we got Gypsy Naccarato. So
From Italian.
From Italian. There you go.
She's from Italian. Do
Raising the
grandma
casitas.
came
do
over.
you know bilingual?
No,
you
I
don't
do
know
not.
bilingual?
No.
Okay.
My grandma
kids are
came over on the
trilingual.
boat from Italy, just so you know.
Oh.
So we probably share a little bit of blood there.
There you
So
go.
literally came over on the boat.
Good connection. Love it, Jason. So, Gypsy, talk about actually picking up the phone and calling people in your line of work and the property management side of things.
Well, it's really important because a lot of things are misinterpreted through emails and texts. So if I'm talking to a prospective tenant about what they need for a new place to live, over a text, I'm going to maybe not get all of the information I need correctly. And same thing with the homeowners. I can misinterpret something being said through a text or an email.
See,
So
she's
it's-
thinking, she's like, I better not say anything wrong. She's slowing down. She's looking at Kyle because Kyle jumps all over Mr.
Well,
Hall.
and I'm moving. I was told not to move.
You're all right. You're good. As long as
Great job, Gypsy.
just don't bounce 5 feet away from the mic and you'll be golden. So tell us a little bit about your property management business. Where are you located? What kind of properties do you manage? All that fun stuff.
My office is located in East County, but I do manage all throughout San Diego County. I'm a full service property management company, so I handle everything for you, from finding the tenants to collecting the rent to paying you to any repairs and sometimes rehabs if you have a flood or something like that.
Okay. Gotcha. Floods are always fun. That's the worst nightmare as a property manager.
As a property owner.
Yeah.
Right? That's
Or
why
as
you want to
property owner, I
hire
should say,
a great
right.
manager, because you don't want to get a call from the tenant saying, hey, it's 2 o'clock in the morning and there's water running all over your home, Mr. Whissel. Right? You go crazy.
What are you going to do about it?
Right.
That's why you've told me, Jason, I don't manage my properties.
It's not worth it. That's why I've got Gypsy. So I used to manage all my own stuff. I've been buying property since I was 19 years old. I used to manage all of my own stuff. But you get to a point where you realize that you need to churn it over and let the pros handle it. One of the biggest reasons that is when you self-manage your own properties, we have these things in our chest called hearts. And hearts
Especially
are
being
very,
poor
very
kids from East County.
difficult. Yeah,
what
hearts
East
are
County
very
kids.
difficult to have when you're managing property, because then you start to manage emotionally and you don't manage financially savvy in a way that's going to be best for your pocketbook. You've really got to be heartless in a sense when you're managing property, because if you give people
So
an inch,
are
they'll
we
take a
saying
mile.
that she's heartless?
Yeah. I'm not heartless.
Not heartless, but you've got to run it like a business.
Like a business,
That's
yeah.
the
I
biggest
just
thing.
actually blame it all on the owner.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Well, that's
I mean,
You got a
I'm-
strategy. You
I'm
got a
just-
good
negotiating.
strategy.
You
Well,
always
I'm-
put it off on somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the
The owner
middleman.
needs that extra
I'm the middleman.
deposit
So
because you have the dog or you have a cat, and that causes damage. So my particular owner, right, you would say, Gypsy, we need an X amount more deposit. And that way, Kyle, when he was managing his own properties, would look at the kid, and the kid's like, I really want my dog to come, Kyle. We can't leave him at the other house. There's nowhere else. And then Kyle would be like, okay, you don't have the money, go ahead. And then the house gets all messed up when they leave, and you don't have that extra deposit, and there's hard feelings.
that's exactly what happens when homeowners try to manage themselves. The other thing is that I work for both parties. So I've been a licensed real estate agent since '98. I work for the tenant and I work for the owner. There's some things the owners don't know that's right and wrong. And there's some things the tenants need help on too. So I definitely work for both sides. It's not one-sided. I'm just a mutual party in between, trying to make everyone get along. Is really my job.
And so you just prefer being a manager versus being a full-time real estate agent, like somebody like Kyle Whissel or somebody on his team?
I sold real estate for a very long time, and it is a hard business to do. I love the property management. I fell into it because I did non-owner occupied properties, cold calling. I was a full Mike Ferry girl, and I cold called the heck every
Tom's
single
dad.
day.
I always thought they were brothers. I didn't even know there was like father-son.
No.
We can talk about that next segment, but awesome.
So that's how I ended up getting into it, was doing non-owner occupieds. I ended up dealing with the tenants, and I fell into the property management side of it, which I just have a niche for.
That's awesome.
I love it. So again, you're listening to Whissel Wednesdays here on AM 1170, The Answer. We're going to head to a break, but when we get back, Gypsy, I want to talk to you about what are some of the mistakes that people make when they try to manage their own properties. Again, you're listening to Whissel Wednesdays, AM 1170, The Answer.
AM 1170, The Answer.